Hey, it is Troy Stavros with Cornerstone Realty Associates, and it is time to look at our monthly housing market update, looking at all the data through the end of May to see what's happening in East Tennessee and in Knoxville as far as the real estate market. Let's jump in and take a look. All right, in East Tennessee as a whole, looking at May of 2024 and comparing it to 1 year earlier, home sales were down 1%. That's the first time we've seen that in a little bit. But even with home sales down, pending sales were up 10.1% compared to a year ago. The inventory of homes is up 42.8%, so quite a bit more inventory on the market now compared to a year ago. New listings up 9.9%. The median sales price is up 8.96% in East Tennessee compared to a year ago and coming in at $365,000, with the average sold price per square foot in East Tennessee coming in at $221 per square foot. And the absorption rate was also up to 3.14 months worth of inventory compared to 2.98 months worth of inventory last month. So it did get up over 3 months worth of inventory, telling us that obviously more homes on the market and maybe a little less demand, which is the result of interest rates. Let's jump over and take a look at some of the data. When we look at the data here, we can see that the number of listings, both active listings, pending listings, sold listings, and new listings all trended up over the last month and have been trending up ever since the beginning of the year. When we look at listing prices, they're looking pretty flat. So all of the active listing prices, median, the only one that trended up over the last month was the sold median list price. So sold prices did trend up, but everything else stayed pretty flat as far as the prices go. Absorption rate, again, we said has been trending up since February, meaning more inventory coming on the market and maybe a little less demand because of high interest rates. We can see the days on the market has been trending down, so it has been taking less time to get homes sold. When we look at what price points have been selling the most in East Tennessee, the most sales happened in the $300,000 to $350,000 price point. The most sales that went under contract in May were in the $350,000 to $400,000 price point. The most available inventory in East Tennessee was in the $250,000 to $300,000 price point. And then the most new listings that came on the market in May were in the $350,000 to $400,000 price point. All right, let's take a look at Knoxville as a whole. This is everything that has a Knoxville, Tennessee address, and compare it to a year ago. Home sales were up in Knoxville 7.8% compared to a year ago. Pending sales were up 7%. The inventory of homes for sale up 55.1%, so considerable amount of inventory compared to a year ago. New listings were up 12.2%. The median sales price was up 2.04%, so that's a smaller number, but still more than it was a year ago, so prices are still increasing, with the median sold price coming in at $397,950, with the average sold price per square foot coming in at $227 per square foot. The absorption rate also increased last month, going from 1.53 months worth of inventory up to 1.64 months of inventory, but still below 2 months worth of inventory, which is still extremely low. So that will continue to have prices increase when inventory is that low on a whole. Only 1.64 months worth of inventory when a healthy market has 6 months worth of inventory. Let's jump over and take a look at some of the data charts for Knoxville. Okay, when we look here, we can see that the number of listings has been increasing over the last month, both in active listings, new listings, sold listings, and over the last month, the only one that has come down was the number of pending listings compared to last month. As far as listing prices go, as far as active median list price, we've seen that continue to increase over the last couple months. Sold median list price and pending list price have increased as well, and the only one that came down last month was new median list price. After that had increased 2 months in a row, it did come down last month. When we look at the absorption rate, we saw that coming down ever since last year, and then it went flat, and then it did go up, as we said, over the last month. So we saw more inventory come on the market and saw a little less demand for homes simply because interest rates are high. And we're going to talk a little bit more about affordability in a little bit. Days on the market has been decreasing, which is typical for this time of year as we're in the heart of the spring selling market. When we look and see what in Knoxville, everything with a Knoxville, Tennessee address, what price points sold the most, that would be the $300,000 to $350,000 price point had the most sales in May. The most pending listings that went under contract in May were in the $350,000 to $400,000 price point. The most available inventory in Knoxville, also in the $350,000 to $400,000 price point. And the most new listings that came on the market, guess it, yep, you guessed it right, the $350,000 to $400,000 price point. So that is definitely the hot number in Knoxville right now. Let's take a look and see some of the other data for Knoxville. Let's jump over here and take a look at the market action index. So as time has gone on, this number has been trending down, which means it's looking at supply and demand. So we've been seeing more and more inventory come on the market. We've seen more and more supply come on the market. So you couple that, more supply with maybe a little less demand because of high interest rates, and that market action index is falling. But even though it's falling, when we look here at this number on the speedometer, the number 30 is the break-even point between a buyer's market and a seller's market. So you can see we're still in a strong seller's market, but it has come down over the last few months. The other thing we want to look at is inventory. We have seen inventory continuing to trend higher, considerably more than where it was the last few years, but you can see that we're still considerably below where we were pre-pandemic, which is the red line here. So until we get up to here, you can expect prices to stay stable to rising and not be coming down. There are other parts of the country where this number has reached the red number and sometimes gone over it, so more inventory than there was pre-pandemic, and in those markets you're seeing home prices come down, but that is not what is happening here in Knoxville. As far as the new listings, we're seeing those continue to increase. Median price is staying pretty stable, and as we go over here and take a look, you can see that we have just as much inventory now, more inventory than we've had over the last few years. The last time we had more inventory was the middle of 2022. Definitely, we're seeing more inventory come on the market, but still significantly below where we were pre-pandemic back here in 2019. Let's take a look at the market segments and see what is happening there. Again, the market segments break each segment of the market into 25 percentiles. So the bottom is the lowest 25 percentile of the market, and then going up from there. So the median price of the lowest part of the market is $299.9 is the median price. For that, you get about 1,321 square feet. You get about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, in a home that's about 66 years old. So in that segment, we saw 40 new listings come on the market last week. So this is looking at week to week. So last week we saw 40 new listings come on the market in this segment and 32 get absorbed. So there's still demand there. Quite a bit of the new listings are getting absorbed, but there's not more getting absorbed than are coming on the market. And those active listings have been on the market for 28 days. So that number is still pretty low. So there's definitely still demand in that market segment. The next market segment, the median price is $424,950. In that segment, you get about 2,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, a home that's about 32 years old. In that segment of 424,950, we saw 35 new listings come on the market last week and 36 get absorbed. So there's plenty of demand in that segment as more were absorbed than came on the market. And you can see of the 4 segments, that segment has the lowest amount of days on the market for active listings at 21. So that right there is your hottest segment right here in Knoxville. The next segment up, the median price was $574,836. In that segment, you can expect to get around 2613 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2.8 baths, a home that's about 17 years old. That segment saw 31 new listings come on the market and 24 get absorbed. And the average days in the market for those active listings was 28 days. So still under 30 days. There's still demand in that segment, but not as much demand as there is in this segment. Then in the top segment of the market, the median price is $899,950. In that segment, you can expect to get about 3594 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, home that's about 17 years old. In that segment, we saw 32 new listings come on the market and 24 get absorbed. So a little less demand in that top segment, and also the most days on the market for active listings at 42. So that's probably the slowest going of the 4 segments, and this is definitely the fastest moving of the 4 segments on the market. Let's jump over and look and see what's happening county to county. So in the counties here, we can see that Roane County available inventory is up 92.7% compared to a year ago. So that's a big number, a lot more inventory on the market in Roane County. Pending sales were flat, and the median sales price in Roane County was up 11.67% and came in at $334,900, with the median sold price per square foot in Roane County coming in at $184 per square foot. In Knox County, available inventory was up 58.6%, pending sales were up 8.3%, and the median sales price in Knox County was up 1.56%, not a big number, and coming in at $389,450, with the median sold price per square foot in Knox County in May being $220 per square foot. In Anderson County, the available inventory was up 55.8%. Pending sales were up 2.4% in May, and the median sales price was up 13.98% compared to a year ago, coming in at $318,000, with the median sold price per square foot in Anderson County coming in at $202 per square foot. In Loudoun County, available inventory was up 46%. Pending sales in Loudoun County were down 6.9% compared to a year ago, and the median sales price in Loudoun County was up 15.26%, coming in at $532,500. And the median sold price per square foot in Loudoun County came in at $244 per square foot. In Sevier County, available inventory was up 36.38%. Pending sales were down 12.07%, and the median sales price in Sevier County was up 8.9% and came in at $590,000, with the median sold price per square foot coming in at $333 per square foot. In Blount County, available inventory was up 61%. Pending sales were up 11.2%, and the median sales price in Blount County was down 5.07% and came in at $370,000. First time we've seen that go down. We'll have to watch and see what that does next month to make sure that's not a trend. The median sold price per square foot in Blount County came in at $228 per square foot. And you can see when you look at the price per square foot compared to the visual on the left, which was last month, almost in all of the counties, the price per square foot of the sold homes is higher than it was last month. So things are selling for more per square foot as inventory is still tight. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the market as a whole. So the number of homes for sale has gradually been improving, which we've seen as far as inventory goes, because there's been softer purchase demand with higher interest rates in the environment that we're in right now, as inventory hit its highest seasonally adjusted level since mid-2020. Nearly 90% of U.S. metropolitan areas now have more homes for sale than at the same point last year, with inventory in 14 of the top 100 markets having returned to pre-pandemic levels, which we talked about. That's why those 14 are also coming close or already having price declines. But we are nowhere near that here in Knoxville, because both supply and demand are still sitting well below pre-pandemic levels. The 30-year interest rate movements could shift the market relatively quickly in either direction. So it seems like where the interest rate goes is where the market goes. So when interest rates jump up, you see things slow down, less demand, prices hold steady. But if the interest rates were to go down, we would see just the opposite happen. We'd see prices jump up because there would be more demand, and we would see less inventory on the market because it would get soaked up. As of last month, 46.3% of the homes sold for asking price or above, so things are still selling for close to their asking price. 23.6% sold for more than their asking price. 10.5% sold for at least $10,000 over asking price, and 3.3% sold for at least $25,000 over their asking price. So the good homes are still seeing competition. So remember that when you're talking with your agent about negotiations, make sure you know what is happening with the market about that specific home. Let's talk a little bit about affordability. The National Association of Realtors and Realtor.com recently conducted an analysis of how fluctuations in mortgage rates affect housing affordability across various income levels nationwide. This study included data specific to Knoxville, highlighting the disparity in affordability and the availability of listings for different income groups. So the analysis underscores the significant influence of mortgage rates on home affordability. A small reduction in mortgage rates can have more substantial impact on affordability than a decrease in listing prices. In Knoxville, the affordability crisis is particularly pronounced. According to NAR data, that's the National Association of Realtors, individuals earning the median household income of $62,911, that was the median income as reported by the Knoxville Chamber of Commerce, those households can afford only a limited number of listings in the area. This situation is exacerbated by the current interest rate, which is over 7%, and suggests that even fewer affordable listings are available for the average Knoxville resident. Less than 15% of the homes that are available currently on the market are affordable for someone earning $62,911, which is the median household income in Knoxville. Mortgage rates surpassed 7% in April due to strong economic and inflation data, reducing the likelihood of a near-term interest rate cut. However, rates briefly dipped below 7% for about a week in May, offering temporary relief for buyers. As of the week ending May 30th, Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey reported the 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged 7.03% compared to 6.6% a year earlier. So interest rates still over 7%, which is definitely reducing demand and making affordability difficult for your average Knoxville citizen. As far as the future outlook, Freddie Mac's recent housing mortgage market outlook indicates that low mortgage rates are unlikely in 2024. The persistent increase in home prices is expected to maintain high interest rates due to inflationary pressures. Consequently, significant drops in mortgage rates are not anticipated in the near future. As far as home building and lot availability, Knox County faces a significant challenge in meeting the housing demand of its growing population. To keep pace, an additional 17,000 empty lots are needed by 2028. Currently, the Knoxville metro area, encompassing 6 counties, has a 2-year supply of 12,739 empty lots suitable for single-family homes. Since 2008, the availability of lots has steadily declined, with the number of available lots remaining in the 12,000s for the past 3 years. The scarcity of lots contributes to higher home prices as increased demand drives up lot prices. Lot prices account typically for 15 to 25% of home development costs, meaning that an additional $15,000 for a lot can raise home prices from $300,000 to $350,000. Building permits in Knox County have also decreased significantly, with only 24,316 permits issued from 2008 to 2023, compared to over 44,000 permits from 1992 to 2007. This trend is not unique in Knox County. A similar decrease in permits has been observed across the 6-county area. The rental market shows signs of balancing supply and demand. The occupancy rate has decreased from 95.7% from a peak of 98.9% in the fourth quarter of 2021. This trend is expected to continue as more rental units become available, with 1,564 units projected to come online over the next 4 quarters. While the pace of new apartment construction has slowed, historic level of building persists. The effective rent year-over-year change has decreased by 21.4% from its peak in the third quarter of 2022, although the average rent remains high at $1,448, marking a 55% increase from the pre-pandemic average. In summary, Knoxville's housing market faces significant affordability challenges exacerbated by high mortgage rates and a shortage of buildable lots. However, the rental market is showing signs of improving supply, which may help mitigate some of the housing pressures in the region. Supply and demand, again, is what we need to keep an eye on. Supply and demand and the mortgage rates. Where mortgage rates go, that's where the market goes. That will affect supply and demand. So as of right now, we still have rates over 7%, which is dampening demand from buyers and also dampening demand from sellers who don't want to put their homes on the market because they're locked in to interest rates in the 2, 3, 4, 5% range and don't want to trade that in for a new rate on a new house over 7%. That's what we're dealing with, but there are still homes out there, more inventory, so there's more options. So if you are in the market to buy, now is a good time to buy as there's more options out there and probably a little less competition. If you're a seller, still a good time to sell as there's still buyers out there and there's still inventory for you to find where you want to go. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions at all about any of this, don't hesitate to reach out to me. This is Troy Stavros with Cornerstone Realty Associates here in Knoxville. Have a great day.